We are looking at a line.
Bow.
Great, so I'll see you at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Watch how OxyClean unleashes the power of oxygen.
So today we're bringing you something different. We're going to be talking about different, just automotive things that you guys have been asking about. Now, we have brought you the this or that where you got to ask us questions about which one things we preferred, but you guys have been asking more about like the automotive wheel culture and just the things that lay behind the scenes. And one of probably the most common ones we get asked about is like, what sort of wheel trends are happening right now? So we have started a new series called Let's Talk About, and this is our first episode. We're going to be talking about wheel trends. So of course, I'm Alex from Fitment Industries.
I'm Andrew. Hello. Hello.
And we're just going to jump right into it. I was going to say delve, but we're not delving.
We're going to chat a little bit more. So we enjoyed the tangents on the this or that series. So we decided to pick one topic where we can actually talk a little bit more about our own opinions on things and what's happening in the automotive scene.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff that is happening behind the scenes if you guys didn't know. And we wanted to kind of bring that education to you so that you can hopefully know a little bit more about the wheels that you buy before you pick up a set. Hopefully at fitmentindustries.com. But if not, at least you watched a cool video and you subscribed, which helps us out a lot. So
indeed,
we're going to talk about a couple wheel trends. Now, the first thing that I think I noticed when we're talking about wheel trends is just like how popular rotary forged wheels are getting. Right? Like every single wheel company is offering rotary forged.
There's a lot of options, and of course, if you guys go back, I did do a video on this where we covered that. Alex is going to do another one where we go a little more in depth, but we started noticing that a lot at SEMA, I think.
Yep.
Last year, there's a lot of companies that initially started off doing cast wheels. Now they're doing flow formed options. So flow formed or flow forged, basically the same thing. But it's crazy how there's a lot of companies now that are kind of coming out of the woodwork to jump on that technology.
Yeah, it's crazy to see though too, because a lot of times you would see with rotary forging very limited options for offsets. Really the only company that was out there that offered a whole bunch of offsets was TSW. And not everyone was always a huge fan of TSW styling. It was always just a little bit different. Well, now Rohana's coming out with rotary forging, ESR is coming out with rotary forging, Koenig got rotary forging. I mean, they're partnered with Enki, so they've got a lot of tech that they're using now. But like, not just rotary forging, but how comprehensive cast wheels have become in terms of like wider wheels, because everything's wide. Now they have like lower offset cast wheels too.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing with flow formed is, and you'll notice this too with some of the brands, a lot of them do start at 20 inch. So if you don't need big wheels, there are a couple brands that do the smaller ones. So that's like where Koenig, like you mentioned, they come into play because they start at 17 and 18 inch applications. So you don't have to get the big massive 20, not a lot of people are going to run those, but it's interesting how they're doing that, because even 3SDM with the 0.50,
SF,
so that one starts at 20 inch, so interesting.
Another cool trend that we're seeing a lot of, in case you guys were wondering, is now obviously multi-piece wheel craze is huge right now, but there are cast wheels now that are coming out in lower offset ranges. Probably one of the biggest ones that we've seen recently kind of taking the market by storm would be Cosmos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we first got to see a lot of the Cosmos wheels. I've seen a few of them at some shows around here, and then when we saw them at their booth at SEMA last year, I was just kind of like, whoa, like these guys are killing it. So of course, kind of originated from the drift scene, and now they actually do a lot of technology into a lot of different measurements and things, and they're doing vehicle specific offsets. Like they do the one for the Focus RS or ST. It was Focus Fitment, Mustang Fitment, Scion, so FRS, BRZ type stuff. So they're doing the measurements, getting exact staggered fitment options, which makes it a lot easier, because years ago it was kind of like the guessing game of offsets, and now it's like specific. This is what you need, front and back, staggered options, a ton of them available.
And just in case you guys are wondering how aggressive you can get now, if you haven't watched anything about offset, remember that the lower the number is, the further the wheel is going to stick out of the fender. The higher the number, the further the barrel essentially gets sunk into the fender. So the popular craze right now are lower offset wheels, meaning the wheels stick out farther, they have a deep lip, or they have heavy concavity. But Cosmos is one of the few that actually offered a cast wheel. You can pick up like an 18x11 with a +5 offset, which is actually huge considering it's a one-piece cast wheel.
It's crazy.
It gives you a huge lip, and it also gives you some concavity at the same time, so that's pretty cool to see.
Cosmos definitely has their own look, all the cool milling and a bunch of finishes, which kind of segues into another point, of course, is custom finishes. Years ago, it was kind of like, you were the odd man out if you're doing custom powder coating, and of course now a lot of the wheel companies we deal with, they do custom powder coating in-house. So whether that's something you can request when you purchase your order from us, we get it done through them or through one of our sources. But the crazy colors are coming out of the woodwork, man.
And the crazy colors are coming back because one of the next trends that we're seeing is the amount of customization options that people want with their wheels. Now, time ago, it wasn't the case. You just didn't do that. Well, now it's all about the wheels. It's all about the fitment for a lot of reasons, and that's going into the multi-piece wheel game. Now, what's interesting is because there's been so much competition in the multi-piece wheel game, that all of a sudden there's a lot of entry-level companies, not entry-level to be rude, but entry-level companies coming into the multi-piece wheel game. I think I'm looking at one right here, and I know Concept One is not too old either when it comes to the multi-piece wheels.
Yeah, Concept One, and even Clutch wheels. Clutch has 3 different designs. Once again, I hate to keep bringing up SEMA, but of course that's where they debut all the cool toys. And I was blown away because I used to run Clutch KM20s and cast, and we roll up and see these Concept One and these Clutch wheels. I'm like, damn, these guys are crushing it. And ESR is absolutely massive too. I mean, when we unbox these 5 different wheels, we're like freaking out. Like, what is this? This is a cast company that was a little lower on the radar, and now these guys are doing their own CNCing. I mean, everything is all in-house, built to order, just absolutely beautiful wheels. So it's pretty impressive. And I think another one, Radiate.
Yep, Radiate's offering a multi-piece forged wheel, which, in my opinion, I would almost say every single one of their multi-piece wheels looks better than their cast alternative.
Oh,
they look absolutely insane.
Yeah, I run Radiate cast wheels on my car, and once they drop the forge line, my jaw dropped. Just absolutely insane. And those guys are pushing the envelope for really cool contemporary designs. Like, they're not worried about doing a lot of stuff that's kind of replicated or similar to old styles. They're absolutely just doing crazy stuff. The R8 HS9, I believe it is, really crazy looking pattern. I showed you that one a couple days ago. It's like, what is that? It's something totally new.
Which kind of goes into like another thing that we're seeing that's extremely common. Now, you guys remember probably almost a year ago now, we talked about what was going to be trending in 2018, and we talked about hot colors, we talked about multi-piece wheels, but you are going to see so many retro styles coming out of the woodwork that almost everything that you see right now, Rotoform is, like, in my opinion, the king of trendy retro wheels, because every single thing that they're coming out with right now is a homage to older retro style wheels, the turbofan sound, all that old school BBS motorsport style wheels. I mean, you're gonna see that almost everywhere. So whether you're looking at something that's like the sporty multi-piece work style or the turbofan retro style, I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot else.
There's the new Aero disc. That one's crazy. That's one I showed you on the white Audi. It's really cool that they're taking a lot of the old school design elements, putting a little bit of a contemporary twist on it, and kind of reintroducing that into the market. And of course, Rotoform's doing that. I mean, those guys
that's what they're known for,
are absolutely pushing the edge. The DIA is kind of the old school Diablo wheel with the 5 circles. Absolutely beautiful wheel. So it's cool to see that stuff coming back, because I mean, that's old school supercar technology and looks that they're kind of bringing back.
And it's weird because a lot of times when we talk about multi-piece wheels, people usually drop in the comments, they're like, I don't have all of that money, I don't want to spend $8 grand, $6 grand on a set of AGs or something like that. And what's interesting is, because there's so much competition going into the market right now, is that it's actually driving prices down. So you're going to notice that there's a lot of multi-piece wheel companies that are actually offering full sets for what rotary forged wheels used to cost. You can buy multi-piece wheels with your basic hardware, basic finish for right around like $3,200, $3,500 right now, which is pretty insane. You're gonna see a lot of people starting to more go towards that than just picking up your standard wheel, I think, at least for this year.
I think, the fact that people are wanting to customize, everyone is getting so wild with the look on their car, the over fenders, the glow is coming back, the massive spoilers, all that stuff. So people are needing aggressive staggered fitments, specific offsets, and that's where you can really be creative and just be the artist with your wheel and step up to the plate, and ESR is certainly one of them that's doing that. Now, the price point on the Radiates, I know, is a little more up there. Their stuff is a little more, I hate to say high end, and I would put these guys in the same playing field, but ESR, I think, is doing a little bit lower price point because they're offering more of kind of an entry-level build. You don't have to go crazy. Of course, the carbon fiber one we talked about, a week or two ago.
Does that one really count?
That wheel is in like a world of its own. It's insane, which would lead us into carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is an absolutely, massive trendy thing right now. I saw it introduced a couple years ago. It was on some of the lips, then it's on a lot more of the spokes and things now. So that's like the dry carbon, the pre-preg, and then it's molded over the T6 aluminum block, on the spokes. So if you're looking to tie in your accents that you have on the car, to have a carbon fiber lip, a carbon fiber duckbill spoiler, maybe some mirror caps and some, a splitter, something like that, to tie in the lips of your wheels, like, that's just money in the bank. That's awesome. Yeah,
it's cool to see that. Really what it comes down to is that there's such a change in the price point for a lot of different wheels, but there's still a market for almost everything. So with like the market trend right now, I feel like there's a group for the multi-piece, then there's the entry level, and then there's a high end. And you're seeing a lot of companies offer multi-piece because that's just where the trend is going, and you're going to see that continue to go that way for probably the next few years. But then you also have companies like Cosmos that are sticking true to what they think a lot of people want, which is that high aggressive offset or low aggressive offset with wide wheels, cast, you know, kind of like a mid-level price point. But then you still have companies that are still like, you know what, we're just going to keep doing the sport compact style wheels like Koenig and stuff like that, where they're offering a smaller wheel, you know, rotary forged, still not breaking the bank. They're still like $800 for a set of 4, and they're insanely light. You know, it's crazy. And then you have obviously companies like Rotary or Rohana that are offering the rotary forged as well in the bigger sizes. I mean, it's crazy to see these wheels that are coming out because everybody seems to be pushing the envelope in some way, shape, or form. Yeah,
everyone has really stepped up to the plate, and it's just shocking to see that, you know, once again, the companies that started cast went to rotary formed, and now it's like, boom, we're going to jump in the 3-piece market. And we forgot to mention even Rohana with 3-piece. I want to say they have 3 or 4 different faces to choose from. Same thing when we saw those at SEMA last year. It was like, damn, these are killer. They had the floating spoke face. Just, you know, once again, they had the brush face, flat lip, step lip, whatever you want. You know, once again, all custom built. You know, so it's impressive what these guys are doing now. I mean, you can just pimp your wheels out to the max.
Now, if you're talking about wheel trends, one thing that you're probably going to want to just keep an eye out for is that there is some stuff happening behind the scenes with just metal and aluminum alloy and forging and all that stuff as a whole. You may have noticed that there's some tariffs coming into the cities and states, the wonderful country of the United States of America. So you guys will actually want to keep your eyes peeled on any sort of market trends, because if the tariff actually hits here towards the end of the year, you are going to see wheel prices go up, which is something that I know you guys probably don't care a whole lot about, but some people like to know what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of metal comes from overseas. There's a lot of companies right now that are actually hoarding metal overseas in their factories that they're not releasing overseas until after the tariffs hit so that they can get more money on the metal. So you're going to be seeing more back orders, more stuff like that probably hit a lot of, I would say, almost entry level to mid-level wheels, solely because they just can't get their wheels in time, because once that tariff starts, I think it's going to be third quarter of this year, pricing on a lot of wheels are going to go up. So just something to keep in mind if you're talking about wheel trends. That's probably one of the biggest ones that we're talking about behind the scenes.
Right, yeah, that's something we're looking out for.
So those are the wheel trends that we probably have seen, I'd say, in the last few months. Let us know what you'd like to see next. I mean,
yeah, drop a comment. Let us know what you guys think of this series. We'd like to chat about stuff, and we can certainly dive into other elements too, whether it be suspension, tires, things like that. So definitely drop your feedback, and we will try to get to you guys.
And don't forget to subscribe, and if you're looking for wheels, tires, suspension, head out to fitmentindustries.com. And of course, no matter how analytical or how much stuff you want us to talk about, we're always here, so we'd love to hear your feedback, so don't be afraid to drop a comment for real. But I'm Alex from Fitment Industries.
I'm Andrew. Catch you guys next time.
See ya.
Peace.